We have a soft, flexible 3A Kevlar aramid. 1060 velocity. Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd, and we have a bullet review today. In full transparency, Discrete Ballistics sent these over for us to check out with no strings attached. This is their 280 grain machined copper solid Recce, if I'm saying that right, or Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Someone please correct me in the comments below.
That Mr. Ahmed Foley is here to see.
Axel Foley. Axel.
Ahmel.
Axel.
This is our 338 caliber projectile, likely for our 8.6 Black, but could find a home in 338 ARC as well as supersonic in our 338 Lapua Magnum. One of the drawbacks that I've found with our 8.6 Black so far is our precision or lack thereof with pretty much some of the bullets that I've actually tried at range, 100 yards, haven't gone out to 200 yet, but mainly with our subsonic loads, I'm not seeing this sub-MOA accuracy that a lot of the people on the forums are advertising. So today we're just gonna shoot this load that we've cooked up with some help from Discrete Ballistics to see if we remain subsonic in our 8-inch and our 12-inch barrel, and then we're gonna step out to about 100 yards with what we have left over to see what kind of group size we can get with this particular projectile. Up first, we'll start with our 8-inch barrel. If you're unaware, for 8.6 Black, this uses a 1-in-3 twist barrel. This is from Faxon. The rest of the gun is a PSA build. And usually with that 1-in-3 twist, we're increasing the RPMs significantly. So that's where our copper and brass and other completely homogeneous or homogeneous bullets come in handy, is that with jacketed bullets, when you increase that RPM and you go supersonic, you can actually spin the jacket off there and destroy your chronograph and, or even worse, your suppressor. Now we'll step up to the 12-inch. This again is a Faxon barrel. This is the match series. The barrel has been fluted. Hey, we're still subsonic. 1115 to 1130 is when you get that supersonic crack. These could be dialed down a little bit so they're a little bit quieter, but it's functioning. We got lock back, that's good. And now on to our 16-inch. This is the longest common barrel length that I've seen available for 8.6 Black. Again, a Faxon barrel. So we went supersonic that time, but not too bad. So if I dialed that load back maybe 0.2 of a grain from what it is, 2.7-inch overall length using little gun, that should be a pretty good universal load through all barrel lengths. We've got the Q pork chop on here now. This is their full-size 8.6 or 338 caliber can. Let's see what these sound like. I do want to mention that when you're watching online videos of suppressors, certain videos could give you false expectations of performance because the microphone itself has a decibel rating range that it can handle noise up to. And typically a lot of times with cell phones, they don't handle, I think, anything over 120 decibels. So they tend to cut the noise, and they do different types of compression. And so then the suppressor all sounds the same. So we'll take these two shots and you'll hear what it sounds like through my Sennheiser remote microphone here. I do believe this handles up to maybe 130 decibels. And you'll hear what it sounds like from a Sony camcorder that's at the 8 o'clock position for my firing, about 6 feet. Here is our 280 grain Discrete Ballistics solid copper machined at 25 yards from a bag, 5-shot group, because a lot of people will shoot 3-shot groups, same day, 0.818 inches. And when I watched these, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that one flew out of there, but this pretty much created the outlier right there, but they are pretty close to each other, so not too terrible. Here are our Discrete Ballistics 280 grain solids at 100 yards using the 12-inch with the match barrel. Our first group was 1.953 inches. We had 3 really close there and 2 that kind of flew away. Our second group was just about the same there, 2.147 inches. We had 1 that walked away. And then our third group tightened up at 1.170 inches. That's pretty much par for the course from what I get for a lot of subsonic ammunition at range. As a comparison, here is some 338 ARC with the 307 grain sub X round. The first group was 4.297. I think that fat bullet might have pushed in the case a little bit and walked off there because the second group was 1.990 inches. Again, your mileage may vary. We're shooting from a bench and lead sled with a chair, about 75 degrees outside a day. Pretty good day for shooting. Here is our Discrete Ballistics out of the 12-inch from a lead sled at 200 yards. Our best group was actually our first group at 3.167 inches. I had to dial that thing up about, was it 40 some MOA to get on target. So the second group, I brought up 12 MOA, 4.333 inches. And then our final group, like I said, I dialed it up about 20 MOA to get on target. 3.722 inches, not terrible. That is the Faxon match barrel gas gun. You know, it's not a bolt gun with a high-end barrel in it. So your mileage may vary. It's around 80 degrees outside today. Sunny, not a bad day for groups. While we're out testing this 285 grain solid, I was trying to think of some barriers, and I figured we'd test it against some soft 3A armor. There's a lot of myth that speed is what defeats that, and it's also speed, bullet construction, and the projectile design that can go hand in hand, and we've defeated soft 3A with subsonic loads before. So we have 3 different types here from Tactical Scorpion Gear. They are an armor manufacturer from North Carolina. If you're looking at picking any of their wares up, Armor King will save you some cheddar there. We have a soft, flexible 3A Kevlar aramid. Then we have a rigid 100% polyethylene. That's normally good at stopping our bullet construction. And then we have a rigid solid, I think this is a fiberglass E-mat or whatever. So we have 3 different levels here. We'll take a shot onto each and just see what's gonna happen. 1060 velocity. Easy enough, our shot is right there in a solid part of the panel. And R.A.N.G.E, we have a failure to stop there. You can see our holes there. I don't know, there might be a hole on the backside, hard to say, but let's go up levels. Now onto our rigid PE 3A. 1055 off the Rangecraft. That's a solid hit on that panel. Our shot placement was right there. That is well within inside a fair hit, in my opinion. And oh, it actually stopped it. Impressive. Now we have quite the dimple up in there, but that bullet was stopped. And finally, our rigid E-glass level 3A. You might be able to tell from that camera angle, but it looks like the armor won. There were both of our shots. This is a fresh panel, so those are fair hits. Looks like it stopped it, but place those bets in comments below. No pass-throughs, folks. That is the advantage of rigid panels, is it usually makes it harder to have a failure. Our last barrier, the box of truth. We've got about 14 sections of 1x pine there, and we're going to see how many this bullet will go through. What happens in the past is sometimes this will start tumbling, and it could veer off and go through 5, or it could go through 10. So we've got 15 boards here. We've already marked it so to save you the trouble. We broke numbers 12 and 13, and our bullet is stuck between 14 and 15 right there. Interesting that from what we can tell is it didn't tumble at all during its entire flight path. We just have straight line pass through there. So that is pretty darn amazing that it didn't tumble at all. Next up, we have a 350 grain copper solid. This is shaped like the Maker's Expanding, so this has a much wider nose on it. Save you the trouble, we are in the 11th and 12th board, and from what we can see is there was no tumbling at all. So again, straight line. Our last round is a 307 grain Hornady Sub X round, so it's got that little elastomer or plastic tip in the front of it. All right, so our Sub X made it through 7, and it was stopped cold in the 8th. Now the advantage of that round is it kind of mushroomed out a little bit. Watch it, that's hot. So we have a lot more damage to our prior boards than we do with the solids, but obviously the king of this experiment is that 285 grain solid. And there are our recovered rounds, the 285 grain on the left, the 350 grain in the middle, and then the Sub X on the right. Well, folks, that concludes another ammunition review out here at the range. We had some pretty interesting results with this 285 grain copper solid. We had better than average precision anytime in the past, anything 8.6 black. I always have horrible groups at 100 to 200 yards, so I'm looking for something that I can get good tight groups out of. Everything I've read says the standard deviation extreme spread is very picky on this load, so the smaller those numbers you can get, then the less factors you have that would influence that precision over some of our other more mainstream calibers. With this copper solid, you're gonna be okay if you end up going supersonic because you don't have that jacket to worry about, but these are pretty much designed to be subsonic. As far as our barriers go, pretty impressive that we're still able to go through 3A, the soft kind anyways, at a subsonic velocity, mainly because of how long that bullet is, and copper is a little harder to squish out than our lead. So if that is something that interests you, that is something to look at. And our box of truth showed that our pointy 285 grain solid went further than the other two. And then we've tested 5.56 in the past, and they didn't go nearly as far as this. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here. But at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who helped make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my family. A big thank you to them. Deacon would like to remind you all to like and subscribe and share these videos so that our algorithm works for us and not against us. Number two are my Patreon and YouTube channel members. I have my Patreon in the description below, so if you're looking to support the channel, that's the best way to do it. Number three are the fine folks over at Discrete Ballistics. Again, in full transparency, sent me those 285 grain bullets so that I could have a heyday and do some reviewing on. And of course, number four is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.